I just got this new apron. If this is not a sign of adulting, I don't know what is. Hello and welcome to Kari Cooks. I'm going to be honest with you, I never really cared about Valentine's Day. On a positive side, I do think it's an excellent excuse for you to have a beautiful meal with your loved one or even with yourself because you deserve it. Anyway, so for this video, I wanted to put together a 3-course meal. I actually created a poll on Instagram where I asked you what kind of dish you'd like me to make. I actually got very close results for the 3 options. So I was just thinking, why not doing all of them? So yeah, so that's the idea. The only thing I'm going to make vegan only is the starter and the dessert. Just because everyone can eat vegan, but vegans cannot eat everything. So I thought it was fair. Okay, so just to sum up the menu of today, the recipes I picked are actually really simple to make. Because let's be honest, it's Valentine's Day or a day where you want to spend time with your friend, loved one, or family. And the last thing you want to do is to spend hours in the kitchen preparing a meal. So the menu for today is, we're gonna start with a very simple starter, technically an avocado toast crossed with a bruschetta. Huh? Do you guys say bruschetta or bruschetta? And then the main, our vegan option will be the very famous Gigi Hadid pasta recipe, but I'm gonna veganize it. The only thing is that I'm gonna change one of the main ingredients of that recipe. I'm gonna substitute vodka with gin. I should earn an award of the worst recipe follower in the world. For the second main, a pescatarian option, we're gonna make a very interesting prawn pasta recipe that I've never made before, but I found it online and it sounded amazing with roasted pistachios. I mean, we have to try that. I'm gonna call it Prawnstachio. I don't go out much. For our third main, the meat option, I'm gonna do a very simple steak recipe. It's going to be a Caprese steak, so we're gonna keep the theme of easy, fresh, and delicious recipes. Finally, our dessert is gonna be a vegan dessert, and it's gonna be basically one of the easiest recipes I found online. We're gonna make peanut butter cookie bars. How can we go wrong with that? Are you ready? I'm ready, so let's give it a try. Okay, so one thing to consider before we start, I'm gonna be making all these dishes and with just 2 people in the house. So I'm gonna be using measurements just for 1 portion. Okay, now let's go. For my avocado toast crossed with bruschetta, I'm gonna use my favorite bread, olive bread. Feel free to pick your own favorite bread. And as for the topping ingredients, I'm gonna use 1 tomato, ½ teaspoon of garlic. Remember, this is raw garlic, so try not to add too much or you'll have a breath problem. I'm gonna use olive oil, half of avocado, basil, black pepper, salt, and balsamic vinegar. I'm actually gonna use glaze because it's my favorite, but feel free to use the standard one, it also works. And this is totally optional, I just think it looks super cute. I'm gonna use pomegranate seeds. Let's do it. So the first thing I'm gonna do is to peel off the skin of my tomato. To do that, I'm just gonna put my tomato in boiling water, and after a couple of minutes, the skin comes right off. Second step is toast your bread. Chop your tomato. Once your bread is ready and toasted, get yourself a little bit of olive oil and brush it on top. I recommend you to use a teaspoon to rub the garlic on the olive oil so it accentuates the flavors. Okay, so now it's time for our avocado. We have our avocado toast. We're gonna bruschetta size. We're just gonna turn it more into a bruschetta style kind of toast. Grab your tomato. Okay, so now the final touches. Add a bit of salt, a little bit of black pepper, basil. Now your balsamic vinegar. I recommend the glaze because it makes it look so much better. You'll see. And finally, the optional ingredient goes last. And voila! Our starter is ready. So 1 course done and 4 to go. Okay, so now it's time for our mains. I'm gonna start with a vegan dish first. This is a very famous viral internet recipe that was made by Gigi Hadid. So the original recipe is not vegan, but we're gonna turn it into a vegan one. So the ingredients I'm gonna use: 1 handful of spinach, 2 cloves of garlic, 1/4 of onion, 1 cup of almond milk, 2 cups of coconut milk, 1 cup of gin, which will be our experiment, tomato paste, nutritional yeast, pinch of salt, and red chili flakes at your taste, as much as you want, depending how spicy you like your food. The pasta I'm gonna use is red lentil penne, because red and love. Okay, so let's start. Start boiling some water. Onions. Once your water starts boiling, add a handful of penne. Okay. So now that my onions are looking caramelized, I'm gonna add a spoon of pasta water to the pan. Maybe 2 spoons. Yeah, that's good. I'm gonna add my spinach. Once the spinach has softened, add your tomato paste. Then your garlic. Now it's time for liquid ingredients: gin, almond milk, and coconut milk. Okay, time to season. Add a pinch of salt. So add as much red chili flakes as you like. I like mine really spicy. Mix it all together. I have to say, when I tried with vodka, it was also very good. The only reason I'm not using it this time is because I don't have it. I'm always so impressed with simple recipes that can be so rich in taste. Some might say the less the better. I would say this recipe doesn't take more than 10-15 minutes, so it's ideal if you want a quick, delicious dinner. Okay, I think my pasta is ready. Join the pasta with the sauce. Okay, let's put this on the plate. And the final step is to add your nutritional yeast, or if you're vegetarian, I really recommend Parmigiano. And voila! Our vegan pasta by Gigi Hadid. Feed Catty Cooks. It's time for our pescatarian dish. For this recipe, I'm gonna use prawns, garlic, green chilies, and for my pistachio pesto, I'm gonna use roasted pistachios, lime juice, garlic, coriander, water so it's not too thick. I'm gonna use walnut oil, but you can use sesame oil or olive oil, salt, and black pepper. For this recipe, I'm gonna use linguine pasta. As a final touch, I'm gonna add a bit of goat cheese. I'm actually really excited to do this recipe. I've never done it before and it sounds amazing. Okay, so first things first, boil some water for your pasta. So let's make our Prawnstachio. Add a bit of olive oil or walnut oil or sesame oil, whatever you prefer. Add your prawns, some of your garlic, then your green chilies. Now we cook our pasta. Add just 1 teaspoon of water to your prawns. Okay, so this recipe didn't have white wine in it, but normally when I cook with prawns, I tend to add a cup of white wine. So I'm not gonna do it this time because I already have a drum pasta. So yeah, so if you want to add a little bit of wine, just add a cup of white wine. It's time for our pesto. So I roasted my pistachios for 10 minutes in the oven. There you go. Add the coriander. Just leave a little bit of coriander for garnishing. The rest of my garlic, my walnut oil, lime juice, salt, and black pepper. Oh, and don't forget to add a little bit of water. Okay, let's blend all this together. Let's try. It's really good. Yeah, very good, very fresh. The coriander makes it really fresh and the lime juice as well. I never made pistachio pesto before. This is really good. Okay, so one thing to notice is that I forgot my pistachios were already salted, so check that before you add extra salt. Thankfully, I didn't add too much, but it's just in the limit. Okay, let's put this aside for now. Our prawns are looking good. I'm kind of tempted to add wine to my prawns, but I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be good. Yes, I'm gonna be good. Okay, so my pasta is done. I'm gonna add it directly to the pan. Mix it well with the garlic and the chili and the prawns. Smells really nice. Okay, so now it's time to add our pistachio pesto to the pasta. The smells are amazing. Add your goat cheese on top. Garnish with a little bit of coriander. And finally, add 1 or 2 slices of lime, just because it looks so good. And voila! We have our pescatarian dish, our Prawnstachio. So it's time for our final main dish. It's the meat dish and it's called the Caprese steak. Caprese. So for the marinade, I'm gonna use balsamic vinegar, the standard one. So this time no glaze. I'm gonna use olive oil, honey, mixed herbs, garlic powder, black pepper, and a bit of salt. Then we leave it to marinate for about 20 minutes and then it's time to cook the steak for no longer than 4 minutes each side. Once our steak is cooked, it's when the Caprese magic happens. It's when we put mozzarella and tomato slices on top of the steak. It's gonna be delicious. So let's start with our marinade first. Grab yourself a bowl, add balsamic vinegar, honey, olive oil, garlic, mixed herbs, pinch of salt, and black pepper. Okay, so now put it aside for 10 to 20 minutes. I'm not gonna make any side dish for the steak because I'm already making so much food, but I would recommend some roasted potatoes with rosemary and some asparagus to go on the side. As I normally do, I'd like to ask you, what do you do during Valentine's Day? Is it an excuse to prepare a delicious meal? Obviously now we can go anywhere, but if we were in normal times, would you go to the movies, to the theater? I'm always curious to know what you guys are up to and what things would you like to do during a day like this. So my steak has been marinating for 20 minutes. Heat up your pan. So once your pan is hot, add a little bit of butter. I have a bit of garlic butter here, so feel free to also use garlic butter. But if you just have butter or even olive oil, it'd be enough. Remember, no more than 4 minutes each side. So grab yourself a plate. If you want to, you can decorate. I put a little bit of pesto and basil. Okay, so time to put the mozzarella and the tomato layers on top. Add a little bit more basil on top. I love basil. Black pepper, pinch of salt, and voila! We have our final main dish, the steak caprese. We finally reached the end of our menu, dessert. For dessert, I'm gonna make a peanut butter chocolate chip cookie bar. And it's vegan. I'm gonna follow the recipe of love and lemons. And once again, change a little bit the recipe just because I don't have a couple of these ingredients. But I have similar ones, so let's try. We're gonna prepare the cookie layer first. I need peanut butter, melted coconut oil, maple syrup, vanilla extract, a bit of sea salt, almond flour, maca powder I do not have, I'm not gonna use it, and chocolate chips. Okay, so let's go. So I already have my almond flour in my bowl. So 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. 2. There you go. Now we're gonna add our coconut oil. So 1 tablespoon. 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And now we combine all the ingredients together. Smells really nice. Once everything is mixed together and it forms this cookie dough, it's time to add the chocolate chips. As I'm making a small size dessert, I'm gonna use a small tray. I'm gonna put a little bit of baking paper. So add your dough in the tray and press it till it forms a layer. I have now my layer of peanut butter cookie, and it's time now to make the chocolate layer. While we make the chocolate layer, put it in your freezer. Walnuts, cacao powder and sea salt until the walnuts are well chopped. Okay, what was it? Walnuts in, cacao powder in, a pinch of sea salt. Let's blend all this together. Here we go. The recipe actually recommends dates, and that's probably better. Again, I don't have dates, but I have raisins, so I'm just gonna see if it works. Raisins in. And now is when we do the final blend. But if it gets too thick and stuck, is when we also add a little bit of water, not too much. Okay, so now we add the chocolate layer on top. We have our peanut butter cookie layer and we have our chocolate layer with our raisins on top, and it's time to put it back in the freezer. According to the recipe, we should freeze for 30 minutes. Okay then. For starters, we have bruschetta.
Wow.
You like it? Success!
Great use of the balsamic glaze, mate.
It's really good.
Delicious.
So as our vegan main, we have Gigi Hadid's pasta.
She made it
Vegan.
herself. Oh, Sydney. It tastes like there's some booze in here.
There is some booze in there.
Oh, it's nutritional yeast.
It's completely vegan.
It's completely vegan.
Do you like it?
Wow. Yes. I'm just worried it might get me drunk.
I really like the vegan pasta.
A success.
So now we have our pescatarian dish.
Wow. That is good.
This is the pistachio pasta. I named it. Do you want to hear the name? Prawnstachio.
Prawnstachio. Delightful. That's good.
It's
I
really
like
good.
the tinyness of the goat's cheese and the lime. And what's the other stuff? There's that. Oh, there's that little pistachio stuff.
So it's like a pistachio pesto.
I'm a fan. Nice. That one's like refreshing, almost.
It's the lime juice, isn't it? And now we go. And now. And now the final main dish, the steak. Caprese steak.
Steak Caprese.
Caprese.
It is very tasty. I'm a fan.
The theme was easy, fresh, and tasty dishes.
Nailed it.
So what's your favorite?
I think the Prawnstachio is probably my favourite. Just maybe because it's one that I least expected. The bruschetta is really good as well. I like the saltiness and the glaze, and the balsamic stuff. That was good.
I think my favorite is the prawn pasta as well. The Prawnstachio. Prawnstachio. We have vegan dessert.
Ooh.
I made peanut butter cookie bars.
Oh.
Yeah, in the freezer. Yeah. And now it's time for some
vegan dessert. Wow. That's not what. Oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I have a feeling that would be good with ice cream.
It kind of reminds me of like, not Christmas pudding, but it's like going towards that because of the fruitiness, like the dried fruit flavour.
Is it good?
It's good. And is there chocolate chips in it as well?
Yeah, chocolate chips. Yes.
Very nice. Thanks for tuning in to the Valentine special. Like and subscribe. Yeah, that was very tasty. Would eat it all again.
So this is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this ideas inspired you to cook something for your own Valentine's Day. If you do try any of these recipes, let me know. Leave me a comment down below, or you can even send me a direct message on my Instagram @KattyCooks. And I really hope you enjoy your Valentine's Day. See you next time with more recipes. Bye!
Support me on Patreon so that I can keep eating all this food without working. Thank you. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Time for happy bye bye. Time for happy bye bye. Happy Valentine's.